Hi everyone, it's Mark here. I'm the founder of the Arts and Culture Network. This is the best bit of the job for me. This is where I get to travel the world and introduce you to one of our full members. And Caroline Amoros has joined me today. Caroline, thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure.
I gather it's snowing there.
It's snowing in the French Alps.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So whereabouts in the French Alps are you?
I'm not so far from Switzerland, above Aix-les-Bains, on the Bourget du Lac.
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember seeing the view behind you
So I
last.
can work here outside and I can train outside.
Oh, fantastic.
So, yeah.
So thank you so much for being one of our full members. We are a growing community, entirely member funded. So it's very much appreciated that you've joined us as a full member. I'd like to bring up some of your work so that we can show people some of the wonderful things that come into your head in art. But before I do that, perhaps you could tell us a little bit about you and the work you do.
I work with 6 different characters, and with them I tell stories in public spaces. So I've been doing that for years now. And each performance is unique because I adapt to the social place or the festival. I gather a lot of information before playing. And then sometimes I make photographs or work with photographers or artists. Yeah.
Yeah, and journalists as well, I read.
Yeah.
And I think it just
At the French Institute, they used to say that I work like a journalist. I make inquiries
yeah,
before. Yeah.
it's fantastic. I've browsed through some of the work and we're going to show people in a moment, but it's I think the phrase in your website is corporal art. So
Yes.
you are the art.
Yes.
Yes. Well, let's have a look, shall we? I'm going to share my screen and you can talk us through some of the work. Where are we? There we go. Excellent. Here we are. Right, so this is your homepage on your website, and this is at caroline-artist.com, and here are some of your characters. I love it. So the
It's in Dubai. This one was a work on water. It's on
yeah,
global warming. And this is in Iceland on the where the glaciers are melting. There's been an eruption there. It's close to Reykjavik.
ah, let's have a look at some of the characters, shall we? We've got Miss Rose, Miss Yellow, Miss Kristen, Miss Orange, and Miss Blanche. Which one would you like to show us?
Oh, we can start with Miss Rose, maybe.
Okay, here's Miss Rose, is a Belgian Spanish. She walks poster, the picture of her dog, always looking for a family. So tell us a bit about Miss Rose.
So Miss Rose was my first character. It comes from the Belgian stage. I worked with this character on stage before. So it's really my clown, in fact. And
Your
with this,
clown.
yeah. And with this character, I'm getting old with it. So I will soon reach the age of Rose because the idea is that I never stop with this character. So
That's excellent. And let's have a look at Miss Yellow.
Miss Yellow is an international feminist, was created at the Royal National Theatre in London. Then I went to the Women's World March in Geneva and in New York in 2000, long time ago. And I was the only French person there, so and I had the chance to creep before in the real private space. So
That's
many journalists took photos, and I was in New York Times.
and this is Kristen.
Yeah, Christine, 50 years old, is looking for work. And now she's still looking for work. She's 62. And then I worked with a group of drilling girls, a huge group in Amiens for many years. And I took them to Sweden and to Denmark on the question of identity. So this is quite, how do you
That's
say?
great.
Nowadays, it's very accurate. And I
Yeah.
have a choreographer, Belgian choreographer for this.
And this is Miss Orange.
Miss Orange in Marrakesh, golfing with oranges, of course. And I was writing in Arabic. So in each performance, I write on the ground with chalk paint, so it goes away with the paint. But the message is very important. It's my signature.
Yeah, this great stuff. It's so much. It's lovely and fun. And then finally, Miss Blanche.
Miss Blanche, so she's very precarious and she works with flour and milk and tints. How do you say? Milk
Oh, yeah.
bricks. So it's a mixture between consumption society and poverty. And on the opposite, she is very classy. So
Yeah,
I like that my characters are like lollipops with different colors. It's never one story, and they adapt when they change country or city.
it's wonderful. I love it. So I hope everyone will go to your website and have a look at the work. That's great. Now we're going to have some fun. I've been looking forward to this. I'm going to create your fantasy cultural year. Okay. And I have a time machine and I have a magic wand as well. So I need to place you somewhere in the world. Okay. So what's your favorite building?
Building
Yeah. Building or place? What's your favorite building or place?
place, my favorite place is Iceland.
Iceland. Okay. I'm going to put you in Reykjavik,
Yeah.
in Iceland, and I'd like you to assume that you're sitting at a bar outside. It's sunny, but it's cold. And there is a drink by your side. What drink would I find there at 6 p.m. on a June evening?
A glass, a glass of water.
Glass of water? That's fine. How about glacial water? Water from the glacier.
It's
No. Now there's a book on your...
very, it's very important to drink water in Reykjavik. It's full
Yes.
of energy, and the water is our future. Also, it's the main question nowadays. And Reykjavik is Iceland is the most advanced country in the world for women rights.
For women's
Women
rights.
rights.
Wow, I
So,
didn't know that. I didn't know. Okay, so you're sitting there with a lovely glass of glacial water,
yeah.
and on your left is a book. What book would I find there next to you? It could be your favorite book or a recent discovery.
Ashley Dawson, Extreme Cities,
Extreme Cities,
from Ashley Dawson.
Ashley Dawson.
Yeah,
Excellent.
he's from New York, from a CUNY University. I met him in Central Park.
Okay. That's great. So now you're feeling quite pleased with yourself, okay? Because a wealthy Icelandic family foundation have invited you to do a year-long trip.
Oh, yes.
They are going, it's very well paid. It's first class all the way, if you wish. And they'd like you to travel the world to explore the world of performance art and find some hidden gems out there. There's going to be, this is the fantasy that I'm creating for you. There'll be a book deal in it. You'll be doing a TED talk. You're going to do a global university lecture tour afterwards. There's a television series in it. All they want you to do is to decide where you would like to start. In what city or country would you like to start a study of performance artists, emerging performance art?
In Pakistan, in Karachi.
Karachi in Pakistan. Excellent. Yeah. Okay. You're on the plane. Okay. The steward brings you a glass of water and a note from the wealthy Icelandic Family Foundation. They would like you, they want to do a few experiments on you as well while they're paying you to do this research trip. They'd like you to limit your musical listening to one very specific genre or type of music for 12 months. So if you had to do that and you could only listen to one very specific type of music, what would you choose?
I would choose a traditional music of the world.
World music.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great choice. Now you arrive in Karachi and a group of young people who are studying art meet you. They have your name on a card at the airport.
Yeah.
They whisk you into a car with your luggage and they take you to a lovely loft apartment overlooking a park in Karachi. And they say, right, settle in, relax, unpack. We're going to come back and take you to a dance performance, and then we're going to take you out to dinner. Okay. Now, you don't have to stay in Pakistani culture. You can choose anything you like. Okay. Because I have a magic wand and I can put anything on that stage. So if you had to watch a dance show, and you could go back in time, you can see any dancer, living or not. You can have any style of dance, any group. What dance performance would you like to watch in this fantasy world?
A contemporary art dance performance.
Which one?
Contemporary art dance performance, I would call it.
Okay, contemporary. Okay, well, who is the wonderful French dancer? Is it Sylvie Guillem?
Yeah, Sylvie de Manning, Sylvie Guillem. But
Sylvie
I
Guillem.
love experimental art.
Okay, so
And
let's
I
assume.
like a mixture of arts when different artists of different disciplines meet.
Yeah. Okay, that's yours. In my fantasy world, the ballet Rambert are performing in Karachi, and they're doing a modern interpretation of some work. So I think that's what we'll go to. Now in Karachi, they have restaurants and cuisine from all over the world. So what national cuisine would you choose for dinner after the show?
A local one.
Local
Yeah.
Pakistani restaurant. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, in fact, I've found a restaurant in my fantasy world, which is a hybrid French Pakistani restaurant. That's a fusion restaurant. So we'll do that. Excellent. Now, the next day in Karachi is sport day. Okay. Now, sport.
Sports, they are
Yes.
good. I love
Yes.
sports.
Yes.
It's
We have,
difficult to find a swimming pool in Karachi, I think, but
so what sport would you like to do or watch?
swim.
Swim. Wild swimming or in a pool?
Uh, Not in a pool, outside.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes it's possible in Pakistan, but not always.
Yeah. Okay. Have you been to Karachi?
No, but I'm in contact with people there.
Yeah. Okay. So that's your sport day. Now, in Karachi, there is a new digitally enhanced art gallery, and you can put on a virtual reality headset,
Yeah.
okay, and you can step into the work of a famous artist. You can walk around in the painting, look all over. Which artist's work would you like to step into and explore in that way?
A known one,
A known one, yeah.
unknown one.
An unknown one.
Yeah.
Excellent. So we'll find an emerging artist in Karachi, and we'll do that. We'll step into their work. No one's ever suggested that before in these interviews. That's a great idea. I love it. Excuse me. Now, I've flown out to meet you, and we're going to go out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On Monday, we're going to go to a pop or rock concert. On Tuesday, we're going to a theatre play. On Wednesday, we're going to a Broadway or West End musical. On Thursday, we're going to the opera. And on Friday, we're going to the cinema. Now, we can go anywhere we like in the world and watch anything we want. And we can even watch the first performance with my time machine. So what pop or rock concert would you like to go to in those circumstances? It doesn't have to be in Karachi. Who would you love to see? Perhaps somebody you missed.
Somebody I missed. No idea. I have no idea.
Was there a singer or a band or a group in the pop and rock world who you particularly like?
I would say I love I love many, but I never listen to the same things every day. I choose a different music to work on.
Okay, that's
So
great.
I'm not the kind of fan, but I like to discover new music and then I improvise on this new music.
Nice. Well, we might start with Bjork.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
Yeah, so that would be good, given that your fondness for Iceland. So we'll go
yeah.
to a Bjork concert.
But I do say, yeah, I like to discover. So, but for example, if I go to see Bjork, I would mainly have the opportunity to look at her in her when she's preparing before the show. That
We
was or after.
Okay, we can do that. We have a backstage pass. She's also discovered a new singer, and
Yeah.
the new singer is the support act. So we get to discover more as well, which is great. Excellent. Now we could fly to London or New York now for our theatre trip. Is there a
New York.
theatre? Which would you like to go to, London or New York?
New York.
New York. We're in New York and we're going to the theatre. Is there a show that you'd like to, a theatre play that you'd like to watch?
I would like to see dancers, contemporary dancers in New York.
Okay, it's yours.
And I know they have good humor and they're very creative. So I used to be fan of Steve Paxton. So he's dead
Mhm.
now, but I would be interested to meet those people.
Okay, we can do that. And what about a West End or a Broadway musical? Are
I
you a
but I can't remember the name, the one about the history of America. What's the name? Lafayette, you know?
Lafayette?
There was a big show in Broadway.
Oh, which one did you not that not 42nd Street. No,
Mhm. Where are you? I've lost you.
there, I'm still here. I can see you.
You can see me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see.
Um, are you a fan of opera, Caroline?
I hate opera.
You hate opera.
I like it when it's on the streets or when I know the people and then I'm close to them and I respect their art and I love their work. But
But you're
I
not a
hate
fan
the
of but you're not a fan of Puccini or Verdi or
no, I'm not turned into the past, I'm more turned into the future.
okay, got it. And what about a film? What film would you like to go to see?
Yesterday I saw a film from Iran about a woman. So I think I would like to go to an Iranian film festival, for example.
Absolutely. That's a great. So we've jumped on a plane and we've gone to an Iranian film festival and we're watching all
Yeah.
of those. That's great. That's a good week. Thank you for that. Um, Now this I'm about to leave you to go and do this global research trip. But before I do, I'm going to give you what we call the hero lunch. So I've booked a restaurant in Karachi for you. It's that French Pakistani fusion restaurant for a leisurely 2-hour lunch. Okay. And you can invite any single person you like, living or not, famous or otherwise. who would you, if you could have anyone join you for lunch, who would you like to invite?
I would invite Ted Kilmer.
Ted
Kilmer.
Kilmer. Okay. I don't know Ted Kilmer, I don't think. So tell us a little bit more about Ted Kilmer.
Ted Kilmer, he was a programmer at the World Trade Center. And he booked me in the US years ago. And he's lost his job when the World Trade fell.
Yeah.
And he organized the first Bursker event in New York. And for me, it's very important because for me, it's the memory of something very important. And he knows all the artists. And I think, yeah, I respect him.
Ted Kilmer. Now, in a slight twist, who do you think Ted Kilmer would invite?
Me.
You're both there. What third person, if you said to Ted, you can invite somebody to join us, who do you think he would want to invite? Again, living or dead, historical.
I think he would invite Jeremy Shine from Manchester.
Okay, Jeremy Shine.
Yeah.
Fantastic. There you go. There's your lovely lunch. So you carry on for the year. You've discovered several emerging performance artists. You've recorded the TV series. You've written the book. When you get home, you'll do a university lecture tour, and you'll do a TED talk as well. Have you enjoyed your fantasy cultural year, Caroline?
Yes, but I missed to play.
You get to perform while you're out, so that's
So it's okay.
it's okay. And friends and family can come and visit you as well. So there we go. Thank you for doing that. That was good fun. It always produces surprises. So that's really kind of you.
My daughter has an English name. She's called Eleanor.
Eleanor.
Yeah. So she would come to watch the TED talk. She's very proud of me.
Oh, good.
I'm very proud of her.
Excellent, Caroline. Thank you so much for doing this. I'd like to take, I always like to do a wave picture when I'm doing this. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take a quick picture of our screen so that we've got this. So there we go from the window. So I'm going to wave. Would you like to wave?
Bye-bye.
That's great. Thank you so much. Please don't rush off, but for the time being, thank you very much for being one of our full members. Thank you for being a good sport and going on this year with me.
Thank you for meeting me.
It's my pleasure. Wherever this appears, there'll be links to your work and some of the photographs. But in the meantime, Caroline, thank you so much.
It's good to have people going around and make people meet, and it's fantastic the work you're doing.
Thank you so much.